Okay, so let's suppose you were to ask to solve this equation. Oops, sorry. All right, you're asked to solve this equation. Say plus 2 equals a negative 46. All right, the direction is going to say solve by using the square root property. So what's going to be your first step tomorrow? Subtract 2 from both sides, okay? Because remember, you can't take the square root of both sides yet until you have this form. Some expression squared equal a number. Just put it right there. Some expression squared equal a number. Okay? I don't have that yet. I have an expression squared plus a number equals another number. So you got to get that expression squared by itself. So you got to subtract 2 from both sides. Combine like terms. I get 3x minus 5 squared equals a negative 48. All right, now what do? Take the square root of both sides. Okay, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Remember, you take the square root, you get a plus or minus. And so the square and the square root undo each other. So you get 3x minus 5 equals plus or minus the square root of a negative 48. All right, so what else do you have to remember you have to do? Okay, so you got to remember that you are taking the square root of a negative number. The other thing is you got to simplify that radical. So off to the side, you have a square root of a negative 48. So there's a square root of a negative 1 times the square root of 48. And square root of a negative 1 is I. Now, what perfect square besides 1 goes into 48? And it's always a good idea to use the largest. 16. So the square root of 16 times what? 3. So I get I. The square root of 16 is what number? 4. So that's I times 4, square root of 3, right? But we tend to write it as 4I square root of 3. Now, you can put the I on the outside after the radical, but there are some of you that make it look like the I is underneath the radical. If it looks like it's underneath, it's incorrect. So you got to make sure that if you put it on the outside, it actually looks like it's on the outside. So then this right here becomes 3x minus 5 equals plus or minus 4I square root of 3. Now, what kind of solutions will I end up with? To what? Well, yeah, but what kind? Imaginary. So they're not going to be rational, right? So they're imaginary, you can write them in a compact form. So in other words, just add 5 to both sides. And I get 3x equal 5 plus or minus 4I square root of 3. And then finally do what? Divide both sides by 3. And I get x equal 5 plus or minus 4I square root of 3 divided by 3. Okay, so you can leave it like that. Yes? It's possible. I mean, if it's an I, it's imaginary, right? If it was just the square root of 3, no I, then it would be irrational. If there's no square root or no I, then it's rational. Okay? Okay. Okay, so then the other day we were talking about solving a system. Okay, now that's going to be on test 2. It's not going to be on test 1.